When crisis strikes, Doctors Without Borders steps up because there's no time to lose.
Okay. Okay. I heard that plane. That means I am live. Hey, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Come on on. Come on in. I'm 2 minutes late. I know. I'm 2 minutes late. I know. Come on in. I was trying to give y'all some time to load in. You know, I be trying to give y'all some time to make it on time. Okay? I know y'all ain't got to go to work tomorrow. Some of y'all are up cooking. We're going to talk tonight. It may get a little deep. You know, it may cause for a little research. This is something that all of us need to be talking about. And this is going to be a good conversation to bring up amongst your family on tomorrow. Okay? Load on in. Share with the family member. This is about our health. And I'm going to say this, you know, I talked on the last American Crystal series about distractions. And I can honestly say if there was a group of people who, like, it was power in everything they do, every particle in their body, I would most definitely keep them distracted. I would use people who look like them. I would use people who did not look like them. I would use every trend, every trick, everything. And trust me, I wanted to get on the Shaquella Robinson. I wanted to report on that. But something was telling me, Janice, look at this. And tonight, we are going to unpack this. Come on in, y'all. Help me get some people in here. Please help me share this live. Invite your family. This is a history lesson, but in this American Crystal series, I'm going to attempt to break down some science, kind of in terms that everybody can understand, all age groups on here. And it's something for you to further research, as I am also researching it as well. And as science is ever changing, science is always changing. And it's up to us to kind of keep up with it. Hey, everybody who's in here. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Let me share that I'm live real quickly so people can come in. Let me grab my link. And share it. That I'm live. Hey, y'all, come on in. I hope it's okay if we talk for a little while tonight like adults. I hope we can talk tonight like adults. I've had a long day, okay? I've had a long day, and I'm sure some of you all have had a long day, especially those of you who are business owners trying to get ready for Friday. It's crazy, okay? Crazy. Let's see here. I'll grab my link. Let me grab my link. Let's see. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Load on in. Load on in. Load on in. Okay. Let's see. Where's my link? Here we go.
Ashley's Black Friday.
No, not today. Not today, Ashley. Y'all always selling furniture. We sick of it. Let me share this on IG. that I am live. Really, I should just go live on IG and tell them to come over here, but let me share my stories. I'm live. I'm live. Everybody who is somebody, get them in here. Let's talk like adults. Okay? Let's talk like adults. Cause we gotta figure something out tonight. We have got to unpack something tonight. Join the live. Just say watch now. It's okay. Come on in, y'all. Load on in here. Load on in here. I'm going to be looking at the screen in just a moment here as I let people know. Oh, no, not that. As I let people know that I am live. Yep, there we go. Okay. I know y'all got family everywhere. I have family everywhere. Let's just try to, it's gonna be some noise in the background. I'm sure it's noise in y'all background too. Everybody trying to cook. Everybody trying to do everything. So let's try to get through this tonight and unpack this real quick. Let's see. We'll just, why is it beeping? I don't know. Okay, that's that. That's shared. That is shared, I think. I hope. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, please click like when you come in. Don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Click like. The more you click like, the more people come. The more you click like, the more people will come. It's hard for me to get in the algorithm, especially with these subject matters. And as you saw earlier this week, my YouTube channel is actually locked. And the guy who is the YouTube tech cannot unlock it. I don't got time. So let me do this disclaimer. Because some of y'all are probably wondering, why do I keep coming back on YouTube? With all the stuff I've been through on YouTube, channels being deleted, lives being cut off, so forth and so on. Why do I keep coming back on YouTube? The reason I keep coming back on YouTube is because this is the only channel where I have people from the military, people from the Space Force, people from the freaking NASA. It's everybody on YouTube. I don't know how you people found my page. I have no clue how people from SpaceX found my page on YouTube. But when I go on Facebook, my friends and stuff don't work for SpaceX. They might be mayors. They might be, lawyers. They might be regular professionals. They definitely is not working for SpaceX or Space Force or nothing like that. Nothing like that. So I keep coming back on YouTube because for one, I'm wondering. And for two, I learned a lot from the people in the chat. Because some of this stuff really, before I do the research, a lot of people on my chat already know. Now, they don't tell me anything. Let me just do this disclaimer. For people who are watching who may be curious. I don't work for the government. I have never worked for the government. I never will work for the government unless they pay me for some sort of intel. Probably even still then I probably won't. I don't know. They just do too much sneaky shit for me. What I want from the government is restitution and reparations. I don't want no apology. I want monies. Okay, so let me clear that up. Yes, I am a scientist. I have a science degree. Okay, I have not signed any oaths. Okay, no Hippocratic oath, no Democratic oath, none of the kicks, none of the icks, nothing like that. Okay, nothing like that. All right. So when you hear me say I was working on my doctorate, chiropractic. Okay. Yes, I have a science degree. Yes, I was going to school to be a chiropractor. I just don't believe in pills. I don't believe in medicine. That's what it is for me. Okay. Now that I got that out the way, with me breaking down these subject matters, it's not to whistleblow, because you have to be a part of an organization to be a whistleblower. I'm not a whistleblower. I'm just a person who sees stuff and researches it further. I'm not the person who is easily distracted and just told one thing. I research it further. And as you all saw today, the Washington Post just released something very interesting just today. Just today. Washington Post. Pull this up. Yes, come on in here, y'all. Click like. Don't be shy. Come on. I need way more than this in the chat. I need way more likes in the chat, way more people in the chat. I don't know whether my page is locked straight to the DOD or whatever the fuck. I'm just letting y'all know. Back the fuck off of me. Okay? I'm a regular person who like to research. I'm not a part of you. I'm not a part of none of y'all shit. Okay? So unlock my channel so people can see my content. It's freedom of speech, if I ain't mistaken. That's what I thought. I would think as an indigenous person, I got the right to say what the fuck I want to say. Okay. Hey, y'all. Hey, William. Hey, Chief. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Chief Baspo. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Janelle. Hey, Mad Exotic. Hey, Love and Light Lady. Hey, Marcia. Come on, y'all. Click like. Hey, Daisy. Hey, Godfrey. Hey, y'all. Found an old medical science book talking about the use of mummy consumption for medical purposes. They've been ready to learn. You ready? Tonight. Hey, Kim. Hey, Zia Vertis. Hey, Scipio. Hey, Ann. Hey, Empress. Hey, y'all. Come on in. Hey, Sanidra. Hey, darling. Hey, Omega Red. Hey, Angie. Hey, Janelle. Come on in, y'all. Hey, DMV Mikey. Please click like when y'all come in. Please click like when y'all come in so we can get in the algorithm. This is a conversation that needs to be discussed. Needs to be discussed. Let me send out a text. This conversation, y'all, we gotta talk. So Washington Post released today this is what they released. Vaccinated people now make up a majority of COVID deaths. This is the Washington Post. That's just how I cropped it. You can Google this for yourself. The Washington Post. Same Washington Post that were telling y'all to get the vaccine. Delta, Omega, Zeta, Alpha, Beta, Gamma. Now, here's why I feel a little vindicated. I feel vindicated. I feel disrespected. I lost friends, 20-year relationships. I lost friends behind telling people not to take this. No shit, Sherlock. No shit, Sherlock. Watch Crystal's Part 1. In fact, watch this entire series because I'm about to break this down exactly what this was about. And I was breaking it down from the beginning. When I first heard about this, I said, this is not right. This is nothing about this is right. And in 2019, I was on to something. I was on to something with showing Bill Gates. I was on to something with showing that Mount Memorial Nese incinerator. Nuclear reactor. I was on to something. We've been told that was a trash pile. That is not a trash pile. It has a 24-hour burn method on it. And it also gets energy. It collects energy. That mound collects energy. If it was a trash pile, it would be flat. Because when you burn trash, it lays flat, turns into dust. Ashes to ashes is what it turns into. That thing has never been ashes. It is a mound. It is carved out on the inside. There is something going on the inside of there. And there is a fire that you can visibly see from the back side of the mound when you're on the Highway 675, burning continuously fire, and it smells. Smells like death, in fact. Doesn't smell like trash. It smells like death. And there's energy grids out there. And that reactor, whatever it is, provides energy for Connolly, Ellenwood, and parts of Stockbridge. And probably even parts of DeKalb, places in DeKalb County. I was on to something. I don't know how I got onto something, but I was definitely onto something. And I understand why they were shutting my pages down, because I was too far onto it. Almost like they consulted me before they did this. But that's that. So this is time to have a serious conversation with your family. Okay? This is time to have a serious conversation with your family. By the end of this series, you will see exactly one, why I called it American Crystals, and two, exactly what's being done. Let's see, is this the video I need to show? I'm going to show y'all a portion of a video. This video was released, not this one. This video was released exactly 4 days after my American Crystals Part 1. Okay? 4 days after American Crystals Part 1. How I got more likes than viewers? That's strange. That's strange. That's strange. Tell people to come in here to look at this. At this point, seeing more likes than viewers let me know channel is definitely locked. This is not fair. For one, my other channel got deleted for medical misinformation. When I was breaking this stuff down scientifically, the right way, and telling people how to get out of this situation, my channel was deleted for no reason. Fast forward to now. They're reporting that the cause of death is the actual vax. Okay, so 7 days ago, which is exactly 4 days after my Crystals Part 1, NBC News released researchers say that they are close to reversing aging. I'm not going to show this whole video because NBC will strike my channel to hell. I don't got time. But I am finna play Inside the Science of Aging. I want y'all to listen. It's 6 minutes long. It's 7 minutes long. I need to play all 7 fucking minutes. I don't know how, I'm not gonna play it on the screen. I'm just gonna play it and stop it. We gotta have some adult conversations tonight. Okay?
David Sinclair has spent the last 20 years.
Hold on. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Harvard scientist David Sinclair has spent the last 20 years working to defy aging.
How many times have you heard, if you're over the age of 40, well, you're getting sick, you're getting this pain, your eyesight's degrading. don't worry, that's just normal aging. I really don't agree with that approach.
Sinclair believes the root cause of aging and health decline stems from damage to the so-called epigenome, the part of our cells that turn genes on or off.
Our bodies have two different types of information. We all know about the DNA. Now, there's another type of information that most people don't know about. It's called the epigenome, and it's the reader of the DNA. Like, if you have a compact disc, it's like scratches on the compact disc, so you can't read the music. As we get older, we lose the ability to read our DNA correctly.
And so how do we get those scratches off?
We had this breakthrough a couple of years ago, and so we found that there was a way to get the scratches off and reverse the age of cells.
In his study, Sinclair restored optic nerve cells and sight in mice with vision loss from both aging and a condition that simulated glaucoma.
The way we did that in the mice, and we cured blindness with them, was to turn on three genes that are normally on in embryos. And when we turn those three genes back on in the adult tissue, the mice regenerate and they get their vision back.
And now, in what the researchers are calling the first study of its kind, Sinclair and his team were able to age the mice and then make them younger again. In this video shared by Harvard, these mice are the same age, yet one is visibly older.
Oh, y'all gotta see
How
this.
did they-
Y'all gotta see this. Golly, let me make sure my phone ain't blurry. The mice are the same age. They've made one mice by manipulating the genes. Okay, by literally breaking the DNA. They made one mice age and one mice is still black. But one mice hair has turned to gray. But they're the same age. I just wanted to stop it right there so y'all can see that visual. I hope y'all saw
Do
that.
it by literally breaking up the DNA, forcing the body to repair itself, which he says accelerates aging.
The mice actually do not just look old, but they literally are older by about 50%. They get gray hair, they get wrinkled skin, their organs are old.
The results were shared at a conference earlier this year and are under review for publication. This groundbreaking technology builds on the Nobel Prize-winning work of Japanese scientist Shinya Yamanaka, who discovered how cells can be reprogrammed to be stem cells, which then can develop into cells of any type in the body.
Now, do y'all remember years ago, Dr. Jewel Pookrum said there is a group of scientists that only studies melanin. That's all they study. And they don't let black, Negro, Naga, American Indians in, period. He's one of them. Okay? Put a
Using this
pin in
method,
that.
Sinclair showed me how his team is trying to study memory loss by turning skin cells into tiny brains.
And here they are, these little beauties. So these are mini human brains we've grown for a number of months. And these ones have been aged so that they're 70 years old. And we can measure their activity. And their brain activity is slowing down as they get older. They're full of inflammation like a normal old brain would be. And in this experiment, we're now testing, can we reverse the age of those brains so they work again? And the answer is, yeah, we can do that.
In early experiments, his team says they are using electrodes to measure activity in cells from the brain.
As those get older, they fire less. And then we can reverse that and get them to work again.
And so you've seen that by reversing it, they start firing more.
That's right. Yeah, we can make them young again and work like they used to.
While much more research is needed, Sinclair hopes that one day, reversing aging could be as simple as a pill at the doctor's office. So maybe once a year you go get a prescription for your doctor, you take it for a week and it reverses your aging? Is that your vision here?
Well, it's not just a vision, it's going to happen. It's like asking the Wright brothers, are we going to fly? Well, of course we are. It's just a question of when.
Dr. Akshay Syal joins us now. I have seen Resident Evil too many times. So, of course, I'm wondering, you want to edit my genes? Even for anti-aging? What? This sounds like it's both really tough science.
Mind you, this is a brother talking. This is a black guy. Oh, shit. No, Gaia. No, I don't want to see you. Give me the other video back. What are you doing, stupid?
Tough science and potentially...
I wanted to show this nigga fade all the way out. Boy, who cut that boy hair? That's a side note. That boy hair wrong, boy. But he's like, you want to mess with my jeans? What?
quite risky. Like, what's the flip side of all this?
Well, so, the qualifier here is there's a lot more work that needs to be done. But to your point, I mean, it sounds like science fiction. I mean, he's taking these mice who couldn't see from getting older, from getting glaucoma, which is damage to the optic nerve, and he's restoring their vision. I mean, it does sound a little bit like science fiction, to your point.
What is the timeline, though, for making this a reality? I mean, for something like a drug, like there's a whole process, phase 1, 2, 3 trials, but what does the doctor say the timeline is for this?
Yeah, so, he's hopeful in the next 10 to 15 years, but the thing is, you do need more rigorous studies in animals. You really need to prove that this works. And then after that, you need to trial this in humans. You need to prove it's not only, working as it should, but it's also safe and it doesn't cause any unwanted side effects. Like you just talked about, you're editing your genes. I mean, that's probably going to be a big concern for a lot of people.
Although, on the flip side, just so the sci-fi nerds among me don't have the last word, we have come a long way in terms of what we can do with genetic editing, with procedures like CRISPR and so on, really being able to manipulate genetic codes in fairly stable and replicable ways, right?
Yeah, and so, Dr. Sinclair has been studying this for the last 20 years. He started out at MIT and he's had this lab at Harvard for decades now. And, what he's basically saying is that if you'd asked him 20 years ago, would I be here today? Would I have restored vision in mice? I think he'd tell you he was pretty surprised. He didn't think we'd come this far so quickly. So, yes, it does sound like science fiction, but it's really, really promising at this point.
How does this compare to some of the other science that's going on in terms of anti-aging? Actual laboratory bench science, not like the infomercials we see at 2 a.m. Where else does the research lie?
I think you and I could do a whole show on, the creams that are available and the potions they sell over the counter about, take this and you reduce your aging.
Pills and potions and lotions and everything and anything. But
Yeah.
setting all that aside, where's the science?
No, we'll leave that to Professor Snape.
Exactly.
This is it's a Harvard-funded lab. These are people who are actually going in and altering your DNA in a way that they can they develop these biological clocks, and these are
This the part.
This is it's a Harvard-funded lab. These are people who are actually going in and altering your DNA in a way that they can they develop these biological clocks, and these are to be fair, things that need to be validated still, but they've come.
Keep a pin in altering your DNA and biological clocks.
With the way that they think is you're able to tell somebody's age just by looking at a DNA sequence. So when you compare that to these creams and these things that you're selling over the counter, it's a separate world.
And are there other applications for this kind of epigenetic technology other than anti-aging? This isn't new technology, as you mentioned. This is just a new application.
So it's been a theory for a long time, and we're still working to prove that theory. But it is something that Sinclair has coined called the information theory of aging, where you take these epigenetic changes and that accelerates aging, as we've seen in the mice that's coming out. But to answer your question, it's the uses outside of this. It's still so new that we really don't know yet.
And I know that he mentioned kind of like popping a pill, but is that what we expect it would be, like a pill, or more like a treatment like dialysis or something long term? Like what would the delivery device potentially be?
Yeah, so the delivery device so far in the mice has been it's actually an injection. It's a harmless virus encoded with 3 reprogramming genes, and you take that injection, and then you take an antibiotic called doxycycline. So it's an antibiotic that you would give by mouth that turns on those genes and allows the anti-aging process to commence. So we don't really know what the future is going to look like, but that's what they've done so far in the animals.
I know you already said a virus, and I know that immediately made some people's ears perk up, but this is just kind of a genetic vessel, basically, because a virus is just kind of a bundle of genetic material, right?
Yeah, it's a harmless version of what's an adenovirus. It's commonly used in science. It has other applications as well, but I don't want people.
That's what the video
Thanks for
ended.
watching our YouTube.
He started out, he ended it by saying it was a virus. Now, they cut the video off abruptly. I wanted to hear what else he had to say. No, tell us more. It's a virus. So they have created a virus using genetic material that turn genes on. So in order to do that, you have to know how to create one that turns genes off. And these particular genes that they're turning on and off reverses aging. It stops the aging process. It slows it down. That's their whole thing. See, this is beyond the fountain of youth. See, they look at melanated people and say, we look young. We look young for so long. It's not just our face that looks young for so long. It's all of our organs that are young for so long. because he said epigenome. When you look at the process of an epigenome, the main thing that epigenome controls is melanin. Okay? Epigenome controls the function of melanin. Melanocytes are housed in your epidermis. Okay? This epigenome that he was talking about, that he tried to describe it as a CD, it's basically like the brain of your body that tells chemicals where to go. So this epigenome will send melanin to literally all of your organs if you make enough melanin. If you turn this epigenome off, you will stop making melanin. You will stop melanin production in your body. You will age. You will make less melanin. You will age quicker. That means all of your organs will age quicker. Right? If you turn this on, because it's off in some people, if you turn this on, it slows down their age. It adds melanin to all their body functions. Like he said, he cured blindness in mice by adding this technology. They added melanin, a melanin function. They turned this on in the mice. Now, what's melanin? Is this where it gets a little bit sticky? Because remember, the COVID vax was an mRNA. It was a messenger RNA. It literally attached, it rewrote. Its function was to rewrite the structure, the helix structure, and to add something, add an additional protein onto it. It just so happened in a lot of people, the renin system kicked in and crystallized that protein that it added. I don't know how it replicated in people, but it's a messenger RNA. It was supposed to get into your system and replicate through your bloodstream, replicate through however they programmed it to do, right? So let's break down some basic functions. Let's go through some basic definitions. Okay. Showed y'all that. Bye. Let me take you off my screen. How does melanin protect your skin? When you spend time out in the sun, your body produces more melanin. The substance absorbs light from UV rays and redistributes it towards the upper layer of the skin, the epidermis. It also protects genetic material stored inside of your cells by keeping out harmful UVB rays. That is UV rays. It protects the genetic material inside of your cells. That's epigenome. Okay. Let's keep going. Melanocytes. Let me enlarge this so you guys can see it. Please get more people in here. For what I'm teaching, these numbers are crazy. I don't know how it's more people thumbsing up than watching, but this is really, it's crazy. It's crazy. We're going to go through this real quick, and then we are going to decompress. Y'all might have to write some of this down just to keep up. Now, we've got an epigenome. Now, we started out with saying the Washington Post is now admitting that people who got the vax are the ones that are dying. Then we went through the video of how they're using skin cells to cure diseases and to slow down the biological clock. We discussed epigenome. Main function of epigenome is the production of melanin all throughout your body. It sends chemicals to parts of your body. That's what it does. Melanocytes are pigment producing cells that are found primarily in the epidermis, hair, and eye, but also in the inner ear, meaning of the brain, heart, and other tissues. A major function of epidermis melanocytes is to produce melanin, a complex polymer derived from tyrosine. Melanin is produced within membrane-bound vessels known as melanosomes, which are transferred to neighboring keratinocytes, thus protecting them from damaging effects of UV exposure. UV exposure. Melanosomes produces melanocytes. Melanocytes are the actual your skin cells. It's the carbon. Okay. Melanin originates from the neural crest, a multipotent transient embryonic cell population. You remember he was talking about embryos in the video? He was talking about stem cell. Okay. Melanocytes originate in the neural crest, a multipotent transient embryonic cell population, and differentiates into a number of different cell types and tissues. This is exactly how they are using cells to cure everything. As he said in the video, as many brains. Because scientists has now figured out that you can actually program it. When you're doing stem cell research, the stem cells are the component of the melanin that makes you powerful. Because if you cut yourself, then your skin just grows back. It just grows. It heals itself really quickly. Your heart lasts longer. Your lungs last longer. Your muscles are stronger. That's why your kidneys are so expensive on the black market. Okay? All of these organs have melanin. And most importantly, your largest organ is the skin. So now they're isolating it. Okay? The induction of neural crest occurs during gastrulation at the boundary between neural plates and non-neural ectoderm. In a known region as neural plate boundaries, actually, the key point in this, well, all of it's key actually, mediators of neural crest induction, but the key point in this, embryonic cell population, it differentiates into a number of different cell types and tissues. That's what melanocytes do. Okay? That's what melanocytes. That's the power of melanocytes. Melanin cells. You can turn them into mini brains. The reason why he didn't specify which particular cell that they was using in that video, because had he blew the whistle and said it was melanocytes, melanin cells, then that would have possibly started a fire amongst those of us who aren't distracted. If this gets out to the public, if we can just stop being the fuck distracted, and if this gets out to the public, because your skin is being used to make mini brains. Because of the regenerative factor of melanocytes. Bizarre. Now let's here's where it gets deep. Laser trackers are straightforward tools. They measure two angles plus a distance. The tracker sends a laser beam to a retroreflective target. Retroreflective target. This is all going to make so much sense to y'all. Just keep watching. How does melanin protect the skin? When you spend time out in the sun, your body produces more melanin. The substance absorbs light. Your body absorbs light from UV rays and redistributes it. It absorbs light and redistributes it. You have probably heard me say a few things if you've been on my live. You have probably heard me say under the sunlight, if you look at the hair in your skin up under the sunlight, it looks like a rainbow. It looks like a crystal. It's like you're literally a walking diamond. And you have also probably heard me talk about the power of skin and using your skin to conduct. This is exactly the function that I'm describing. When you're out in the sun, in the atmosphere, you absorb it, but then you redistribute it, literally. So what you absorb, how you can become a conductor, meaning what you say come to pass, is that the energy that's redistributed is the power. So much so that the government has realized it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, where did I stop? There's something there. Okay, here. Laser trackers are straightforward tools. They measure two angles plus a distance. They send a laser beam to a retroreflective target. That's you. Okay. Now let me show this as a flow chart. I don't know why it's blurry, but I got this directly from the company that produces the lasers that I showed y'all last night. Follow along. Please, this is going to all make sense. This chart shows a retroreflective function. Source 1A is the actual laser. It hits a target. Okay? Source 3A is the reflective. It's when source 1A hit the target. I just got a thumbs down. Maybe you're from the Space Force. Maybe you should have came on here and broke it down. For whoever just gave me that thumbs down. Source A, y'all should have been told us about these lasers anyway. Source A hits the target, a radioreflective target, and then at a 180 degree angle, whatever that body is sending out, it's tracked by sensor 2, reflected radiation. I don't know if y'all can see that. Y'all see this? It says direct radiation. So source 1A directly hits your body. Your body starts emitting the radiation. Then your body starts reflected radiation. That's the retro. That's sun coming in and going out. Okay? And then you got the illumination and backscatter. Remember backscatter, because the backscatter are melanin particles. They're using the backscatter, which is literally, Google this, y'all. Pull out a separate device. Look this up while I'm teaching it. They're using the backscatter, which is melanin particles, and they're using the reflective light off of the melanin particles with all kind of products. I'm talking photography, cinematography. Every part of you is valuable. Why did I bring up lasers? How did I even get here? Let me tell y'all how I got here. Now, I was already here, but with them releasing that video, it was just an alley-oop for me. Because he actually talked about lasers in the video. Y'all got to go back and watch it. Now, let's see what a girl that I need to bring up. This how I got here. This is exactly how I got to this point. California man sentenced for illegally exporting cesium atomic clocks to Hong Kong. Cesium atomic clocks. What is up with everybody keep talking about clocks? I done heard this scientist talk about clocks when he's talking about melanocytes. I heard Elon Musk, ain't been too long, did an interview talking about clocks in space travel and Mars. And there's somebody else talking about clocks. Everybody talking about clocks. And everybody is trying to do something very strange. So let's keep going. Let's see what's cesium. Cesium-137, or radiocesium, is a radioactive isotope of cesium that is formed as one of the more common fission products by a nuclear fission of uranium-235 and other fission isotopes in nuclear reactors or nuclear war. This seems like it's over your head, but it's really not. Can I please take y'all back to Bill Gates' 2010 TED Talk? When he was talking about, we take the uranium-235, and then he showed the battery looking thing on there. In that same video, he talking about vaccines. What does vaccines got to do with uranium-235? And what is you talking about, Bill? What you talking about, Billy? I'm here to tell Billy, boy, you completed your job. Boy, y'all got a lot of deaths. Look at the post that came out today. People are dying from the vaccine. That is exactly what you all wanted to do. Now you have all of the melanocytes. You have all of the organs. You have all of the melanin particles, everything that you need. And you are still testing humans today with these lasers. Everybody coming out talking about the Havana syndrome. But for some reason, they're only believing the people who work for the CIA. That's by design. The people at the CIA who are dealing with Havana syndrome is the people who are operating the lasers. They're handheld lasers. You're going to get radiation feedback just from operating the lasers, unless you're in a PPE equipment. Because that's how this works. That's how radiation works. It travels. So even the radiation from the light beam that's hitting your target, in order for you to get the other form of radiation that's coming from the body, you're going to get some radiation in your atmosphere as well. Now, the other radiation that's coming from the body is very important. Because while you are sleeping, from my studies, now y'all can go and restudy it. From what I'm studying, this happens when a person is sleeping. They don't know someone is using a laser on them to trace something. Remember the sleep studies that was done all through the Negro community? Scientists, see, we never asked, where's that data? That data went somewhere important. They was tracking something with that data. Fast forward to today, you got lasers all over the place. CIA, the FBI, everybody's trying to say they don't know how we're being targeted. They don't know where the lasers are coming from, the masers. They don't know where it's coming from. They just know people are waking up with Havana syndrome. They're losing their equilibrium. The radiation that comes out of your body. The laser sends radiation in, microwave, and radiation comes out. The radiation that comes out of your body has a sound that they have realized. And whatever sound is coming out of that radiation, that is what they're using. They're using this sound. And they're taking this energy. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, because this is something. Write this stuff down as I go, please. Please. This is called metrology. Metrology. Not to be confused with meteorology. This is stuff that's going on in space with satellites. At a device and systems level, applications metrology includes detectors, drug delivery systems, energy sources, filters, imagers, lasers, processes, control systems, sensors, wave, guys. The wave that's coming from that radiation is being read. The wavelength from the radiation emitting from your body is literally being read. As you are a conductor in the sun, UV hits you, you absorb it, and then you re-emit it. And you're able to conduct, whether it's positive or negative. Somebody decided that it was cute to test this on human subjects using lasers. It's the same theory, but they put it in these technical terms so that you won't get it. People have been saying they've been targeted for a very long time. And we have been looking at these people like, prove it. It's so many videos of people who are calling themselves TIs, targeted individuals, all over the internet. And it's like, prove what you're saying. You're getting hit with something, a laser beam. Prove it. But then when you start reading this, what they're saying, these people have been telling the truth the whole time. Why is it important that they're hitting people with laser? What is a cesium clock? How does this tie into a biological clock? What's all these clocks? When the vaccine hit your body, I don't know, maybe Stephanie will hear this someday. Stephanie is over DARPA. Y'all know what DARPA is. Google it real quick. Stephanie is over DARPA. But something that I noticed that's so interesting about her. Okay? Something that I know that's so interesting about her. DARPA is the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. This is the Department of Defense. This the DOD. This is America's DOD. Unless we confused. Okay? DARPA works in conjunction with the United States Department of Defense, the CIA, the Department of Energy, and a few other departments in tandem. This lady here, Stephanie Tompkins, for once, that's a really black name. It's interesting. For two, she born in Korea. How are you over DARPA, ma'am? You're born in Korea. I do not get how foreigners are getting these huge positions here in America. She's boasting in the profile that her dad is former army. That's great. That's all our family. I'm a scientist. I'd probably never get a position at DARPA. I probably wouldn't even be in the circles to be able to do it. And I'm American born, bred, raised. Traced all the way back to the 1500s, paternal, from the records. And further than that, maternal. And I never have a position at DARPA. But what's so interesting about Miss Stephanie here, the lead at DARPA, is Miss Stephanie is a geologist. Miss Stephanie is a geologist. She came into office just in time. She's a geologist. Raise your hand if you knew DARPA created the vax. Raise your hand if you knew DARPA created the Moderna vax. It's called Spike Vax, aka Moderna. Look this, pull out another device. Look this up because our families was the one dying from this shit. The vax into your system. The renin system crystallizes it. This lady is a geologist. What is geology? Is that the study of crystals? I'm sorry, this is just the American Crystal series that I'm doing here. So now I got a vax. Now I got mRNA crystallizing in the body because it's a foreigner. And that's what happens when foreigners enter the body. The renin system acts as a defense system along with white blood cells and along with other functions in the body. And it starts crystallizing this stuff. Now you got crystals in your body. It was also released that you were crystallizable mutants. That was before the vaccine was released. I talked about that in 2020. Crystallizable mutants. I couldn't understand. I'm not a mutant. My families aren't mutants. We're indigenous people who are supposed to be protected over here on our land. That's what we are. I don't like no other names. Definitely not no mutant. But there was something about the power of your body that whatever that gets in there, that's a foreign substance, it is crystallized. So they had to find a way in some people to turn this genetic off that's crystallizing all this. I got to turn, some of these genes got to be turned off or this will not work. So now you got a vax that comes in and it turns genes off. It's the mRNA. It's the messenger RNA. It tells certain genes to turn off. And then you have something else in there that people were saying the whole time. This got something to do with 5G. People were saying that. We was like, man, y'all are crazy. This has nothing to do with 5G. How are you people putting 5G and a vaccine together? The reflective radiation sends wavelengths to satellites. I wish I was making this up. That whole chart that I showed, this chart works directly with satellites. So even the people who we were calling conspiracy theorists who were saying, oh, this got something to do with 5G, they finna put a chip in you, they finna da-da-da-da. I ain't gonna lie, I could not get it. I didn't know what in the world does this have to do with 5G? Let's just keep going. Geologist, the study of gems is over DARPA. Spike Vax is the real name of that vaccine. I made a video, multiple videos saying, y'all, they're putting spiked proteins in this vaccine. That's no good. It's gonna spike the blood. I know I said it. In that video, those videos removed. False information, medical misinformation. And the vax is literally called the Spike Vax. Go to DARPA's Wikipedia page. DARPA is the Department of Defense. What the fuck did the Department of Defense, what y'all got to do with a vaccine anyway? And now how are you going to fix this now that everybody dying from it? Targeting a specific community of people who have this thing that when radiation hits them, it absorbs, but then it come back out. And when it come back out, it's these wavelengths on the radiation that we sitting here reading. Because we did a sleep study on them prior to, but we didn't have the lasers on them then. We let them take them home. But we knew what was going on in their sleep. Then there was this space force created. What was the data that was collected during the sleep study? Because whatever data was connected, a whole nother military force was created behind it. It's called the Space Force. Now, You got lasers shooting at specific people with specific genes, specific genetics. And they just reading the shit, sending their office upstairs from where you live, or next door from where you live, or in a weird car parked in your neighborhood, pointing one at you, at your house direction. Let's keep going. Please put some fire emoji in the chat if y'all are following along. Please put some fire emojis in the chat if y'all are following along. Because I'm just trying to break this down in layman's terms to let y'all know I wasn't lying with how I felt about the vaccine this whole time. People who were saying it's 5G related wasn't lying. People who were saying that they've been getting targeted with lasers this whole time, all these tinfoil hat people, they weren't lying either. And now that this came out today, I'm trying to see how it's the Department of Defense going to fix this. Because Negro's been asking for reparations this whole time. We was ignored on that. Please don't tell me we was ignored, and on top of being ignored, we was the community that was targeted to take the vax, knowing that it was called the literally spiked vax, and you all were trying to hide the fact that it had spiked proteins in it, and everybody with a science or biology degree was saying, why would you put spiked proteins in the body? It's going to attach to the smooth blood cells if you A or O blood type. It's going to attach. It's going to try to get on the inside of that cell. That's why it's spiked. It spikes so it can spike the blood. And then when the blood spikes, then what happens? Like an air balloon, you pop. Now you got all the genetic material. And now you got clots. Let's see. Stephanie, y'all got some explaining to do. What's an atomic clock? An atomic clock is a clock that measures time by monitoring the resonant frequency of atoms. An atomic clock is a clock that measures time. It measures time by monitoring the resonant frequency of atoms. It is based on atoms having different energy levels. Electron states in an atom are associated with different energy levels, and it transitions between such states. They interact with a very specific frequency of electromagnetic radiation. We talking lasers? Or are we talking masers? Why are people's atomic clock being monitored? Because you all are trying to slow down your biological clock? Or is it something more sinister? Because all this shit is sinister to me. Leave people the fuck alone. That's very simple. But no. Because you're genetically fucked. Let's use other humans as test dummies. Without their knowledge, nobody signed no fucking consent to be hit with no laser. Nobody signed no consent to wake up with burn marks on their fucking skin. Because when the microwave, electromagnetic radiation hits you, it's going to burn the surface of your skin. This is not a little laser from a pen we're talking. This is a real satellite type laser. This is a real fucking laser that can penetrate through fucking walls. Glass, aluminum, make no mistake about it. The tinfoil crew, it penetrates through aluminum, literally. The RFID hats and blankets, it penetrates through that as well. They're still getting the signature they want from the radiation that you emit out. and then the radiation that goes at a 180-degree angle from your body that has wavelengths in it, as well as the melanocytes splattering from your body. Time standards. An atomic clock is based on a system of atoms. An atomic clock is based on a system of atoms which may be in one or two possible energy states. A group of atoms in one state is prepared, then subjected to microwave radiation. We're talking lasers, make no mistake about it. If radiation is the correct frequency, a number of atoms will transition to the other energy state. The closer the frequency is to the inherent oscillation frequency of the atoms, the more atoms will switch states. This allows very accurate timing of the frequency of the microwave radiation. Once the microwave radiation is thus adjusted to the known frequency, it can be used as a timekeeping oscillator to measure elapsed time. I'm just a regular scientist. I took every science class known to mankind. All I needed was to see this one thing. I needed to see this one thing, y'all. The nigga who got arrested. That's all I needed to see. I could take all this other stuff down. This is what I needed to see right here. This one thing, y'all, led me to all of this. Nobody gave me the intel. And it's still ongoing because it gets deep. It's so sinister. It's so sinister. Where'd I leave off at? I already talked about you, Stephanie. Time clocks, microwave, radio frequency. Resonance frequency, radio frequency. Now, how long I've been on here? I think in part 3, we can go on and talk about more how people are mining. Just like geologists do. Mine. I've always said, if you can't find a crystal, if you can't find crystals, don't worry, because the crystals are within. Lo and behold, government already figured it out or was watching me one. This is the only platform I can come on, and there's people who work at SpaceX, people who work for the Space Force, people who work at fucking NASA. I have never seen no shit like this in my life. I don't know whether it's because in 2019 I said I had a neighbor that was following me around. It's like he was following me in every room. I thought it was weird. I thought it was so weird that I called APD. I called Atlanta Police Department. I said, that boy upstairs, he cracker. That cracker upstairs. And if it's some white people on here, get offended if I call you cracker. But don't get offended if I call you nigga. You the problem. I said, this cracker upstairs following me. What? I don't know why he following me in every room. My floors are wood. Like I can hear. Like I'm just pacing around for the hell of it. Just to see if he will follow me in another room. Like, ain't no way. You got a dick and you got to use the bathroom when I got to use the bathroom. And now I'm coming in here for the hell of just to see where you come. And then when you come, I hear you drop something on the floor. I don't know what it is. Whatever it was, it turned my hair brown. And when I got up in the morning, it's like I was dizzy. And not only did it turn my hair brown, it turned my plants brown in a weird way. And I showed my family, I showed my mom my hair. And when I showed my mom my hair, my family was like, what the fuck? My hair turned brown. It literally was taking the melanin out my hair. My plants was turning brown. Not like dying turning brown. They was turning brown like in the middle of my plants. Like wherever that laser was hitting, it was turning brown. This is 2019, right after I released Who Stole the Cookies. Now, I didn't know it was a laser. I thought it was some kind of listening device. I said, well, maybe, he's spying on me. Because if you have been following me for a long time, you also saw that there was about $6,000 stole out of my bank account. And 3 tickets for a flight to China was booked during lockdown. I said, I ain't going to no fucking China. How these people got access to my bank account to buy 3 plane tickets to China from California to China? I'm in Atlanta. I ain't do this. But they had Chung Lee Ho names from my Navy Federal. And I said, that cracker still got a listening device. But no, it probably was something else. So when I get on here and I talk very passionate about certain subject matters, it ain't because I'm new to this. No, I've been going through this for a while. It's retribution, especially knowing what I know. The FBI has a number because the FBI is trying to figure out. Now, what I did not see is the FBI working with DARPA. So I'm thinking perhaps the FBI, it looked like a big clusterfuck of bullshit to me. I'm not going to lie. Because it seems like if the CIA is working with DARPA and DARPA is the Department of Defense, shouldn't they be defending Americans? The CIA shouldn't have shit to do with DARPA because the CIA don't supposed to be working against Americans. The CIA is supposed to be an international thing, right? They're supposed to go after nationals, like international people who come and try to do, nefarious things inside of America. Not indigenous Americans, not citizens. What the CIA doing working with DARPA? The Department of Defense, with this particular project, it's very interesting stuff that needs to be looked into by all Americans. This video should have 1 million people watching. Every Negro in America should be watching this video right now. But according to YouTube, the guy couldn't even unblock my channel. My channel hasn't been struck or nothing. Not here recently. The guy couldn't even unblock it. Saw the block. He couldn't do nothing about it. He said, I cannot. Y'all saw the message I post. I make everything public. I cannot unblock this on your behalf. Ma'am, I'm sorry. I got to forward you. Very similar to the last channel. When I reached out to YouTube as a partner. And I said, what's going on with my channel? And they said, your channel was sanctioned for deletion. What the fuck is this sanction? Sanctioned. And I was telling all truths, all facts. And if I was unpacking stuff, I say, y'all, I'm unpacking this right now. That means we in study mode. That means I done unpacked it so far with enough facts that I'm going to bring it to y'all and hear what y'all got to say. And we're going to do some more unpacking on it. Now, when I put out this American Crystal series, I had no clue them people was going to release that video about them using cells, now using Negro cells to create little mini brains. And they're planning on selling this genetic material on the market. Coming to a doctor near you. Coming to a prescription near you. But for now, they're going to do it in vaccine form. Virus form. Boy. This is something. I brought up the FBI because the FBI has a number on their website that if you think you're getting hit by direct energy weapons, they actually want you to call and talk to them. Because they actually want to investigate which zip codes they're coming from, which cities they're coming from, so forth and so on. So I'm not sure what the FBI is cooking up. But if it's your upstairs neighbor, if it's your next door neighbor, and you suspect it, if you are waking up with headaches, do not believe this CIA thing where they're saying, oh, it's some CIA agents getting Havana syndrome. No, you niggas is getting it because you're the one that's operating the lasers. You can Google lasers. It's not going to come up. Nothing is going to come up like what I just showed you. You have to Google laser trackers. You have to put tracker on it in order for just a whirlwind of information to come up. There are government contracts to make lasers. So these ain't no regular people operating lasers. Yeah, there are some medical facilities, scientific medical facilities also using them. But are they backed by the military? Because y'all are looking for certain genome. Now, before you murder your upstairs neighbor or the neighbor next door to you, call the FBI first. Put it on record. Because this stuff can definitely be proven. Now, you know, I don't condone violence. But I do condone eye for eye, tooth for tooth. I do condone whatever's being done to you, you do back to those people tenfold. Because I don't condone somebody getting their ass beat, or somebody getting their genetic material fucked with, or somebody getting their brain waves or radiation waves that's coming from their body monitored and listened to at night, recorded for quality assurance at night. You didn't consent to it. Somebody just did it because they maybe looking at your medical records or somebody in your family medical records, and they know you got a certain kind of genetics, and they want a piece of it because they're looking to cesium clocks. Where this gets interesting is this clocks. We'll break this down on the next American Crystals, part 3. How these clocks tie directly into Elon Musk, the Space Force, NASA, SpaceX. They're looking for a particular biological clock. They're looking for a particular elapse of time sequence. Because the little clocks we got on our phone, apparently they wrong. And the clocks we got in our body, apparently they're right. And the clocks that certain people have in their body, apparently they've been here older than any other time system. And apparently certain people need to be tracked in order for them to study clocks. And apparently this same system has helped scientists reverse the aging clock. TikTok. That's all I can say. Tick motherfucking tock. We got an Asian over DARPA. Spikebacks. She's a geologist. We have a Biden's right-hand man. He's over Biden's Secret Service. The guy who's over Biden's Secret Service. He's full-blown Asian. I asked y'all when Biden was being inaugurated, I said, who is this full-blown Asian walking next to Biden and he waving? Who is this Asian man waving? He over the Secret Service. Then you got CCP over here. You got CCP in full effect. China done opened their own police department in New York. What all this Asian shit I'm seeing? I see exactly why they put this Stop Asian Hate shit out. Because they knew one day you'll find out. One day the conspiracy theorists will all be tracked by B's algorithm and mysteriously overdose, or a mysterious car accident, or just didn't wake up because a fucking laser was hitting them at night and they were supposed to have a brain aneurysm by now. And you can't understand why the fuck is you still alive? Cause I got paid by the CCP in conjunction with the other alphabet boys here in America who was trying to cover all this shit up. But the Washington Post ate the cheese on everybody today. So is y'all gonna kill everybody at the Washington Post, or they gonna get targeted with direct energy weapons and shit? And now that we know direct energy weapons are the fuck real, because you can put in laser and tracker and all this shit will come up, including forums of people literally talking about operating them against their neighbor down fucking stairs. And how they literally have to walk back and forth with the fucking neighbor to keep, because you have to put the laser directly on them. The laser has to go directly on the person. And then the radiation that's being tracked is at a 180-degree angle outside of where that laser is. All this shit happening on American soil, and ain't nobody put this shit out plainly so people can understand what the fuck going on. We'll tie this in to these 5G and these clocks and shit they talking about. 5G is bullshit anyway. Let's just cut the shit. It's ass. I hate to talk like this. It's supposed to be an educational show. But it angers me to get the message in 2019 to study the atomic era in 2019, and that was literally supposed to be my cookies part 3, but I was threatened to not put that documentary out. Studying the atomic era. I studied all this shit. That's how I knew when I saw cesium cloud. I was like, I done seen that before. This from the Fukushima incident. The particles from the Fukushima incident was studied. Cesium. Now we got particle technology all over the motherfucking place. Particles flying all over the place. They're supposed to enter your system. They're supposed to crystallize as well, these particles. The dust particles are made from a liquid metal. Many variants involved in these dust particles, this dust particle technology. The thing is, niggas are supposed to be so distracted that we'll never look into it. Never try to save our people with the correct literature, the correct breakdown. Never even try to sit down long enough to figure it out. When you have the oldest DNA in the world, you have the cells in your body, they're turning into mini brains. They're not collecting white blood cells for that. They don't have the epigenome that makes melanin, that slows down aging. That's why white people look 80 when they're 30. And when you're 80, you look 30. That ain't no dig. That's the truth. So it should have been told to the Negro community that you would possibly be targeted by bioweapons, that you'll possibly be targeted by lasers and masers if you have a certain genetic code, that now we can murder you without a trace because you just look like you died in your fucking sleep. All the while it was a laser aiming dead at your head. At whatever the highest power we could put that motherfucker on. Fried your brain. This stuff microwaves you. That's detrimental. Your body tries to save you from it by creating water. Plasma. So now you wake up, your feet swole, your face swole, your arms, your whole body swole. You're like, well, damn, my face was not swole when I came home and went to sleep. Now I wake up and my face is swole. My feet, why are my feet so fucking swole? Your body was trying to insulate you from being hit with lasers. High-powered lasers. Some of these lasers ain't handheld that's hitting some of y'all. Some of these lasers coming straight from space. Some of these lasers are coming straight from space, being dialed up via your 5G on your cell phone, hitting your body. Nobody made us aware of any of this shit. As an indigenous American, I take offense. Bitch, I take offense. I take the yard. I take the trees in the yard. I take the cars in the yard. I take all of it. Because if we're going to be targeted over here on this landmass, it's retribution for that. And the same space travel, the same space mining that y'all are doing. We got a force up there too. I believe that's why y'all was created. Because y'all saw the Negroes in America, who you strategically rolled a sleep study out in our communities. Just like you strategically rolled plasma centers out in our communities. You know these lasers would call us to swell up. Anyway, you was tracing those sleep patterns, and something you heard in the sleep. Somehow you was able to track these dream algorithms. So much so that you used some kind of radio frequency to read the wavelength to see what was being said from the other side. This is detrimental because some of us have our greatest ideas come to us in the form of a dream. If I'm dreaming and the ancestors just gave me an idea, you're going to take it? If my ancestors are talking to me, it ain't none of your fucking business. It's because you don't dream that this technology was created. It's because you tried to create CERN and it didn't fucking work. Because you tried to merge the spiritual world with the physical realm, and we are that every day. So since you couldn't merge it successfully, let's just trace these people who are physical and spiritual every day. See, can we get CERN open that way? Perhaps we can fake like we are them. Perhaps we can talk to their ancestors as if we are them. Perhaps they'll open up to us. Perhaps they'll stop kicking our ass. Perhaps they'll slow down our biological clock. Why are we sped up over here? Why do we die so fucking fast over here? And they just get to linger. They just get to linger. You have to put shit out to kill them. You have to physically come kill them. And then good luck when you do that. Because they might live. They might goddamn wake up. They might goddamn wake up. Drop the girl off in the lake with chains and she motherfucking got out. How? Threw a girl off the bridge here in Atlanta and she fucking survived just like a cat. They threw a black girl off the bridge and she survived like a cat. Ancestral protection is what it's called. See, when you targeting people, see, and the person finds out that they've been tormented and tortured, unbeknownst to them, the purity of that destroys you. It destroys your whole operation. It destroys you for generations. Your kids will die. Your kids are already dying. You're dying. Because the ancestors set it up that way. Y'all already stole their fucking land, stole their minerals. Now you're stealing their descendants. Stealing their descendants' skin. To make yourselves better. The same shit you did with Henrietta Lacks and many others during her generation. Stole their cells to make it better. But you one-upped it this time, bitch. You using lasers. to slow down their biological clock. You're using vaccines and dust particles to create nuclear reactions in their body. You're using dust particles and vaccines to turn off their biological clock. I mean, to turn on their body, so you can speed up in aging. So your age can speed up. And then they're going to use the reverse technology to slow theirs down, them and their kids, because they just got to be like you. They got to get your land. They got to get your talent. They got to get your biological clock. What the fuck do we have left that you people ain't taking? And you're not going to admit, nobody's going to admit this shit. They probably weren't going to admit this shit to 120 years down the line. We ain't been too long found out about Henrietta Lacks. And everything that goes out has to go through the CIA for clearance. Am I not mistaken? Any movie that go out has to go through the CIA, right? Because that's why it's such a tight-knit blockage on some of these videos that's going on YouTube. That's how people channels get sanctioned. Because certain information isn't supposed to go out and you don't know how the fuck that person even got that information. But lo and behold, you had them set up to some kind of satellite, your fucking AI satellite. Because if I studied what I think I fucking studied when looking into this shit, you're using human energy to power satellites. And I'm an hour and 30 minutes in. I done slowed down time. See that? You're using human energy to power satellites. So you're connecting the human to your AI, which you already got information programmed in whatever you're trying to motherfucking do. Maybe this is the big CERN satellite that you need to the right frequency to open up the fucking whatever the fuck you're trying to open up, and you need the vibe, bitch, and we the vibe. Right? So you're tracking the vibe, right? Tracking their information as they get their downloads. Because this shit was hidden. You don't know how the fuck did they get access to it? You search through their computers. You know they didn't just break into your files and get it. So how the fuck did they get? Who gave it to them? Who gave that person that download? That's who you're trying to find. What you missed is, if you can create a brain from a cell on my body, then how many brains do I have on my body? How many melanocytes do I have? If one of my cells can create a brain for you, you should have known that you're not smart enough to conceal this from a certain generation of people. You're not smart enough to conceal this from certain people who have certain chemicals in their body. That's why you track them in the first place. But when you hook them up to your satellite, when you hook their brain waves up to your satellite when they go to sleep, and be ye not deceived, you are sending messages via the radiation, via the laser. You're definitely sending messages via the laser. And what comes out of that is what you're tracking. So you could very well be subconsciously asking a person certain intel in their sleep, and what comes out, you're reading the intel, and now you got them a movie come out, and I know I had that thought. If I studied what I think I studied, you're hooking people up to a satellite that you have programmed with AI, artificial intelligence, or your secret intelligence. And you're trying to merge the two to have this supercomputer. The only thing is, once you hook a human up to your satellites, they also get to download the information from your satellite. It's no different than sticking a USB in a computer. I really shouldn't even be giving you this intel. What happens when you stick your phone in your computer? It downloads. Whatever only syncs it together. So now it's a group of us that got y'all fucking intel. And didn't even have to do nothing to get it. Didn't even fucking want it. Didn't need it. If I studied what I think I studied, when uncovering this shit, you have hooked humans up to your satellite to make a supercomputer. You are trying to get into space exploration, Mars, the Mars project or something, but your timing is off. Your rockets are off. Something is off. Something won't let you go up there. There's something up there that's stopping you. It's blocking you. So you're studying time via the people who can slow it down. Via the people who can tell time to slow down and it slow down. Via the people who can get energy in and conduct energy out, and it does exactly what they conduct. That's what you study. Whether they know it or not. Whether they know they got the power or not. They got the chemicals in their body to conduct the power, but they might not know it. They might not know they had the power. So, you niggas, you nigga faces, and you cave beasts who have used our genetic material to upgrade yourselves. Cave beast is the only word I can think of, because y'all really has not, like, y'all have done nothing for us but torment us and give us fucking cats and say it was chicken. Y'all have done nothing for us. Nothing. But now you're using our cells. And using our frequencies for supercomputers and timing. Y'all, please look everything I set up. We come back on here for part 3. Break down some of this space exploration. Why the fuck y'all so infatuated with space? I have no clue. I have no clue why y'all so infatuated with space. Space ain't the fuck bothering y'all. But y'all want to get up there so fucking bad. You want to mine. You're fake like you're mining in space. But you're really mining people's bodies and brains via satellites. Cut the bullshit. I'm sick of it. You think you are guardians? You're not. The guardians are the people who you were listening to during those sleep study sessions. Those files, those are the guardians. They're not you. Space Force. I don't know what the fuck y'all doing up there. Leave people the fuck alone. You're not looking for no missile strikes. We already got a goddamn, ain't that's what the Navy and Air Force and shit do. We ain't worried about no nukes. We got nukes here in Georgia. We're not worried about none of that shit. What the fuck is the Space Force doing? Cause y'all ain't even tell me y'all just in your goddamn little offices watching out for nuclear fucking missiles and shit. We don't need a Space Force for nukes. That one video I seen on YouTube about the Space Force, there's some shit about nukes. They save America every day from fucking threats. From threats. I'm trying to see what threats are you saving us from when the goddamn spike vax got put into our bodies, and now more people are dying from the vax than people who didn't take the vax. If you want to guard some goddamn shit, guard DARPA. How about that? How about the Space Force just turns into fucking the DARPA guardians and shit? Because who's being protected if people are getting hit with lasers and waking up with Havana syndrome? You need to change that name too, because Havana ain't got a fucking thing to do with this shit. This is goddamn American syndrome. Via Asia, look like. They the one brought the goddamn backs over here in the first place. But we say some shit about it. It's a hate crime, as if the indigenous people can't say what the fuck we want to say over here on our land. We get targeted for saying certain things as if you haven't already done our fucking DNA. You haven't already done our fucking genealogy. You haven't done all of that. You know who DNA is what? That's what you're tracking. That's who you're trying to destroy, look like to me. I take offense. I'm here to tell you whoever watching, I'm here to tell you, I take offense. Ain't nothing about that shit right. People have died. Whole families have died via that fucking vax. You got black people, Negroes, holding lasers and shit. You didn't even tell them to hold to. You didn't tell them they was dying. You didn't tell them they was getting eaten up too with them motherfucking lasers that they sitting there holding. You just put a few white people from the CIA so we could feel sorry for them. But you got more niggas holding lasers than anybody because you already studied melanin. You know their body can handle it better than the white people that y'all... The lasers turn those white people's brains to mush. The byproduct from the laser harms them so much so that you went and got brigades of niggas to hold your lasers. Monitor your lasers. Target your targets with your lasers. Do your dirty work, essentially. Ain't paid near motherfucking royalty. Really, you need to pay royalties on that. Let's talk business now. Y'all niggas have stole folks' intellectual property. You have been at the helm of people's dreams before they can even wake up and realize what they just dreamed about. You knew it. You recorded it. Allegedly. Let's say allegedly. Allegedly, you recorded it. Everybody ain't fucking lying about these lasers, especially if it's forums out there with people talking about it. Especially if it's actual lasers out there. Especially if the actual literature is talking about lasers. Electromagnetic. Why y'all ain't send no dollar amount? For the people who died with all these aneurysms, why y'all didn't pay for the fumes? We're asking for funeral money. There's got to be an insurance policy around all this shit. Right? Why did nobody funerals get paid for? For the people whose circadian rhythms are now off because of your fucking lasers? Don't y'all need to cut a check? Don't y'all need to cut a check just for the targeting? Shouldn't this be a revenue split? If I am helping your fucking supercomputer in any capacity, this should be a revenue split. Fair is fair. If y'all want to really do this shit, and if y'all not gonna stop, if y'all gonna risk your workers being murdered behind this shit, because people coming up missing. People are not just fucking being targeted anymore. People are really... It's some shit going on in the world. Y'all don't see all these deaths going on? Y'all don't think this shit is... People not just playing the victim no more. So if you really want to use the Negro population for your little brains, your little, brain pills that you're developing, brain vaccine that you're developing, and you want to use the Negro genetics for your little supercomputers, let's talk revenue. How much money you making from this shit? How much money you plan on making from this? How about you give a cut of that to the niggas? Because everybody see us asking for reparations. This look like we can get it from multiple. Well, it look like some of you niggas need to be sued outright. If I took the Moderna vaccine, I'll be suing y'all ass tomorrow. If I took that motherfucking Spikevax Moderna vaccine, you niggas will be sued tomorrow. You better be glad I ain't take that shit. You niggas will be sued tomorrow. If I would have had family members to die from that bullshit vax, y'all motherfuckers will be sued tomorrow. Because you wasn't honest. This vaccine has been killing people from the fucking start. Now how are y'all gonna re-upload everybody's videos who was telling the truth about this subject matter? It's impossible. all of that intellectual property that I was given out on the subject matter from a scientific standpoint, from a holistic standpoint, is gone. Please share this video. And I know where those thumbs down came from. It's probably an Asian somewhere watching, since I don't know, maybe it's Bill Gates himself. It's somebody mighty powerful sent some mighty interesting people my way. It had to be powerful to send all them people to get wrecked. Had to be a powerful force, because that wasn't like one person. That was a whole group of motherfuckers. Who paid for that shit? Who the fuck paid for that? A whole group of niggas? And then that one little fake tribe that was in the mix, they got a whole contract online with the Department of Energy. I ain't even released none of that information. I just let it. I ain't even gonna speak on it till it's. I let LBI do it. Cause that's what they said they would do, protect people's civil rights and shit. All right. Well, I was targeted. Here's the information. And you know I was targeted because y'all had people already watching the group of people anyway. Who sent that group? Who sent those Asiatics? Because this ain't nothing about it right. Let me see. It's more likes in here than viewers. It's been like that the whole show. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. Let's see let me read y'all comments. I gotta scroll all the way back up to read y'all comments. We at the hour 47 mark. Feel like we've been on here 4 hours, don't it, y'all? The ancestors wanted me to get the message out. They wanted me to make it clear. If you're trying to start a civil war in the atmosphere, you'll never win. You might as well just stop. If the Space Force is trying to start a civil war in the atmosphere, stop. That's the message. The ancestors are smart. Okay? They know that you're trying to match frequencies, right? So that because they deal with us on a certain frequency, and the frequency that you're trying to match to line up with the correct clock is the frequency that we and the ancestors communicate on. And that's your key to opening your CERN door. If you can get the elapsed time and the correct time, you can see where you went wrong and adjust your time. By time, I mean frequency. It won't work. See, the ancestors know, they can differentiate between knockoffs and the real thing. Because the spiritual realm is about intention. And y'all intentions behind this shit is fucked up. That's why it'll never work. Ever. I hate to have to be the intelligent person to tell you that it won't work. You're just going to kill more people. Look how many bodies y'all got behind this shit. How many people died of COVID? That shit was a trick from the start. How many people died? Because your boy Billy was talking about uranium-238 and he had that fucking thing up there, that reactor up there, and he was talking about vaccine all in one the fuck video. Y'all got a lot of dead bodies on your hand, boy. A lot of blood. And the ancestors don't fuck with y'all at all. They don't like you guys. They want you to stop using nigger faces as your foot soldiers. Because that'll turn the ancestors against the nigger faces. Our melanin ain't built the same. Our melanin don't have the same chemicals operating within it. The ancestors do not like y'all. And for the torture, they're going to destroy y'all. We're going to keep operating as if nothing happened. Pretend like nothing happened. We're going to keep operating as if nothing happened. All we're going to do is put it on record with the correct authorities, and then we'll let y'all cars get flipped. We'll let y'all get rained on. We'll let y'all catch the rain. We don't have to do nothing. I mean, you niggas stole pigment from my hair. My hair turned brown. I'll never forget that. I never forgive nobody for that, because I don't have no lasers on no fucking body. I don't do shit to nobody. I don't do nothing to nobody. I talk and educate people. Sure, that's not harming you. I might seem racist. I'm not. I don't fucking like bullies. That's me. I don't fucking like bullies. You fuck people over in my presence, that's when I come out. And you done fucked millions of niggas over. Negro Americans, innocent, elderly, over with this facts, with this whole plan, this whole putting a mask on their face, all of it. You niggas sat in your offices and came up with this. And you want the ancestors to show you the way of the frequency world above in space. And they told me to tell you, fuck you. Fuck you. Leave them alone. Now, if the Space Force is really protecting America from nukes, God bless you all. But if y'all are doing some sadistic ass shit that I think, fuck you. I think you're on the sadistic side. It's because of when you were created. Really should have just let the Air Force rock on like it was the fuck rocking on. But now y'all want to be special and track. Yeah, fuck you. Y'all niggas is not protecting us from shit. I don't know who y'all protecting. Then they had a little black girl on the fucking video. 2 black girls in the video, like we were supposed to be like, oh yeah, they're gonna protect us. Thanks. And I created a whole company helping veterans. I love veterans. I love people who actually fight. Not the motherfuckers who was saying they was a veteran, but they was washing fucking cars in the military. Not them. I'm talking about the people who actually fought, who actually fight, who actually really protect people in real life. Them the ones I like. They're the ones I help. Why y'all ignore? We had a whole veteran population of homeless men who actually went to war, went to combat, homeless here in Atlanta. Those are the ones that I got awarded for helping out of the kindness of my heart, because the VA wouldn't give them any help. So don't get on here saying I hate veterans. That's a fucking lie. Please do your research. These niggas who doing nefarious shit, because you're a broke veteran and you ain't got no money, so you got to take a little odd and end job to hold a motherfucking laser at somebody's head, or to murder somebody, or do some mercenary work. Fuck you. Unless you work for me. Anyway, now you mention it, I've been having real like dreams lately, meeting people. They damn near want to know what we're thinking. That's what it is. That's what it is. Lord, I missed so many comments. Please support this channel. If you like this content, please support this channel. If you want me to keep doing this kind of content, please support this channel. As you can see, I'm shadow banned to hell. My videos are not monetized. So me doing this kind of research, of course, yeah, I need support. Nothing to see here. But baby, when I pray and when I start talking and the intent is felt and the ancestors know just how I was tortured and just how you were tortured, and God bless all of the people who have been saying, I'm targeted. It's some kind of laser. It's some kind of something burning me. Like, I wake up, man, we ignored them people. Shit right in front of our face. And we just, people with science degrees or whatever, even if you don't have a science degree, you can read some of this stuff and just really think about it. Well, how are the cells being microwaved in order for you to study this? Because resonant frequency, that comes off of a living person. Because you got to hit them with radiation in order to change their energy state. It's either going to speed up their breathing or slow down their breathing, but they're going to be asleep. They don't know that their body has totally heated up, and you are tracking that heat wave and getting energy, collecting energy from that heat wave from their body, the kinetic energy. You're collecting. You're the energy collectors. You're thieves. Because you didn't let the American people know what was going on, you're thieves. And you do not stop. Even when people are sitting here complaining online and telling people what they're going through, you still target those people until they die. Did y'all pay for the funerals of some of those TIs? Because Vice did a show on some of these TIs, these targeted individuals. And they were saying this in this show. And by the time Vice did a follow-up show, a lot of those people were dead. Did you pay for the funerals? Because them people said they were getting hit with lasers. Go on Vice and look at the video. Vice did a series of videos on targeted individuals. Them people was walking around with all kind of hats, shields, and all kind of shit on, trying to protect themselves from the lasers, and none of that shit worked. None of that FRID, the beanie hats, the covers, the shields, they only work to a certain extent. Depending on how that laser is, none of it work. Only thing work, the aluminum don't work. The lasers are pierced through the aluminum. Legend of Naga said, I'm being tortured. I don't like this. A lot of people being tortured. Legend. You're not the first one in my chat that has said this. It had to be around last year. I brought up lasers, and it was somebody in my chat that was going off so bad. They was talking over all of our heads. We thought it was mumbo jumbo, because we didn't know how deep they had been studying lasers. The girl told me all kind of stuff. She told me she told me to close my vents. The lasers will come through my vents. In my house, somebody can implant something in my house and the lasers will come through my vents. So they come straight through your window. They can target you wherever you are in the house. She said she was tortured. She was being tortured. She was trying to alert us. I don't know whether somebody in the chat helped her. I listened to her, but I could not understand everything she was saying. I could not understand. It was almost like it was military talk. And perhaps that person was military. I don't know. Perhaps she was military. I don't know. But I could not understand everything she was saying. Marcus said, what happens to aluminum foil when you put it in the microwave? It's supposed to tear the microwave up, right? But with the lasers poke holes through the aluminum. So this is something that we need to, that's a good observation, Marcus. If you put aluminum foil in the microwave, it destroys the microwave. However, when these lasers hit, because there's a lot of people doing tests online. When the lasers, it probably depends on the laser though. It's probably different types of frequencies with the satellite lasers versus the handheld ones. The handheld ones will probably, that's a good observation. I definitely feel that way sometimes, like time be on my side. Yeah. Literally controlling it. Literally. Janelle said it happens to you. Oh, Marcus said the aluminum would catch on fire. I remember when it was first happening to me, and we lined the ceiling with aluminum in my condo. And I told y'all this story. We had lined the ceiling with aluminum. And when I moved out of that condo, we took the aluminum down and it was burned on the inside of the aluminum. I still got pictures of it. In case a bitch try to try me and like, nah, you ain't nobody to target you in the microwave. Well, sir, why is this aluminum burned? Now, for some reason, it does not damage. It won't damage like your ceiling. It like goes straight through it. But I guess a laser on metal is different from a laser on sheetrock. And then they got the copper blankets, but the copper